Episode 174. Salary is the drug to forget your dreams.
You're listening to the very best podcast in the world on health, wealth, and happiness. Please remember to leave a review and share with all your friends and family. And here is your host, Lars Hilser.
And we are about to close yet another week of the very best podcast in the world. So a heartily felt welcome to your only resource in the universe for personal supremacy through health, wealth, and happiness. I should write this down somewhere so that I don't fuck it up every day or, to threaten to fuck it up. Anyhow, welcome to this show, which is about salary and drugs and, forgetting your dreams and whatever. And it took me quite a long time to kind of reframe it, to actually find a fitting example. And so therefore, let's get into housekeeping. It's totally valuable that you share this episode with everyone because everybody needs to hear it. All of those caught in the hamster wheel, living the dream. Maybe there are other things out there. So if this episode resonates well with you, thank you for the kudos, whether anonymously or through an email that you can send to the very best podcast in the world at gmail.com. And if this episode doesn't resonate well with you, because maybe you are already, kind of like high rolling, whatever, have reached the self-described pinnacle of your life, good on you. But share this episode, as in your mentor function. Yes, if you've made it, you should give back and, take willing people under your wings and show them how it's done. And do so altruistically, as I am doing. Motherfuckers. All of you ass rapers who are supposedly successful and want to, ass rape people's wallets for, gaining even more money. Don't. Bad karma. So, in that sense, housekeeping done. Where do we get started? Let's define all of these things, right? Let's define salary, right? It's this monthly fix of money that you get in return for time that you spend. And drugs, you need them, right? You need your monthly fix of money to pay your fixed income and to maintain your standard of living. And what happens? You forget your dreams because you get comfortable, feels so cozy. Get into a situation in an organization where you're almost unterminatable, if that's a word, and then all is honky-dory. You work your, 40 years, 30 years, some of you, if you spend a lot of time in university, you maybe have 30 years left, of contributing to the economy as it is told, and then you retire, right? That's the goal. And then maybe you're one of the lucky motherfuckers that lives, another 20 years of quality life, right? Because from 65, I was told that quality of life deteriorates significantly fast, right? And then you're like, okay, you force yourself still to get up at 6 a.m. because you've done so, it's habitual. So, and then you read your newspaper and you listen to the radio and then you have a whole fucking day in front of you and you don't know what to do with it, right? That's not nice, right? You spend all of your hard-earned money on a house with a garden that you then can't attend to anymore because, physical obstacles get in your fucking way. And I know I'm painting a treacherous example here, right? And it's disastrous. But I'm trying to get you to realize what this sentence, what this quote is actually trying to say. It doesn't mean that you should snap the fuck out of it, right? That's up to you. I'm just trying to show you that there is grass on the other side of the fence. I don't know if it's greener for you. did look to me. So let me, take you back. What was this? Like 20 years ago, when I, started my vocational training, probably the equivalent to a college degree or something like that in finance. Did the whole shebang and whatever. And then I was kind of persuaded to stay in the hamster wheel in a weird way where I was, self-employed with an agency and, was kind of selling finance products and insurance products and, then specialized in corporate and industrial risks. And, then corporate politics happened and I suck at corporate politics. I didn't know that until the degree where, kind of get confronted with it. And it's like, God damn it, I'd just like to bitch slap this motherfucker in front of me. And that happened eventually. And so everything went, I wouldn't say downhill, but it led me to a situation where I was like, okay, I'm going to go ape shit entrepreneur now. Social media just happened. I was one of the first people to understand the importance of search engine optimization in a commercial sense. Applied that, and a lot of stuff happened. And then I snapped out of this hamster wheel and I was like, whoa, fuck, total control, no one breathing down my back. Yeah, you had the tax man and everything. Sure. You had regulations, but you've got those in private life, right? You just can't piss on shit in your neighbor's front yard. It doesn't work, right? So it was like, yeah, nah, and then it was like, hey, clients, I became very good at what I did, despite the fact that I was very much ahead of my time. But those clients who got it, they really got it. And they really understood what I was doing after, my first years of suffering, right? Because you got to convey the people, right? So, or you got to convert the people to, get on your boat and say, okay, what a great ride. So, came there and all of a sudden the salary stopped coming in. And I was like, whoa, the first time or the first few years were like, struggling and trying to get the whole thing moving and, try and error led to, some really shitty times where I didn't have food in the fridge, right? That happens. Get the fuck over it. It's something you're probably never going to experience in the hamster wheel, right? If it's spinning slowly. You get your 9-to-5 gig, money comes on the first of the month or the last of the month or, weekly, wherever you are in the world. And then you're good to go, right? You pay your rent or you pay off your mortgage and everything is honky-dory, right? So times like this, unless you're irresponsible with money, don't really happen to a lot of those people. And I didn't know anything about it because I came from a family that was just that. Right. So I had to deal with it. Those are obstacles and challenges you're confronted with where you're like, whoa, this is new. Never had this. Did I learn anything in school? Did I smoke bad shit when that was, like a lesson in school? No, financial literacy isn't taught in fucking school. Get over it. You're going to have to learn it for yourself. Period. Done. Right. Or you're going to have to hire someone that's really good at it. So that being said, next situation comes up where I'm like, wow, this is new. I get to keep all the money. This was fucking amazing. When back in the finance sector, you make a proposal to the client and then you get your shitty commission, which, a lot of times is shitty. Sometimes it's great. It kind of evens out for the luck of the fucking shareholders who are breathing down your neck and want to quote unquote optimize your distribution structure and everything, right? That comes from from the board, which gets pressure from the fucking shareholders and they're breathing down your neck and they're like, now you get less commission. And I'm like, well, why? Because the fucking shareholders want more money. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to buy shares. I understood the deal. That's what I did. Wasn't the worst idea I had. Anyhow, long story short. So, interesting things started to happen where I said, okay, now I get to fulfill my dreams, right? Because I've got nobody breathing down my neck. Some of my dreams were illegal, de facto, but some dreams are meant to be dreams. So, you stick to the legal ones and all of a sudden you can change the world for people. right? You can to a certain degree in finance. I was, very responsible in that time, despite the fact that, don't tell anybody, I was doing lots of drugs and alcohol and fun stuff, but still, I was there when I needed to be, and, got everything rolling and got everything working and was responsible with everybody's money, never stole anything because I didn't need to, right? There was no incentive. I got my paycheck, got my commission on top of that. Everything was great. But then, it was like tasting this other grass on the other side of the fence. Damn, it tasted good. You could really fulfill your dreams. It was like, for me, this whole thing of getting up in the morning, I was never capable of finishing a coherent sentence, anything before 11 in the morning. Never was. Not as a kid, which led to some impairment in my school years, or some limitations into my development. Sorry, that was the nicotine cough. And then everything was just like, the pieces were falling together. It was like, whoa, you got nobody breathing down your neck. If you're good, the money comes in. If you're not good, the money is there, right? Because you keep all of it for yourself, right? If you're, you got to pay your purpose. You got to, sorry, you got to pay your people. Sure. You got to pay the rent. Sure. But the money that you got to keep, it was fucking yours, especially as a consultant. I was running a one-man show because I was just fucking good at it. And then I didn't find anyone that was similarly good. And, we got along. So, I made a quote with an insane amount of money on it. And I got to keep the money all to myself. I was like, this is fucking great, And so anyhow, that's how all of this kind of falls together. Again, if you're comfortable, right, taking the drug, and if your dreams consist of having a house or buying a house that is, somehow what you wanted, but not really because you can't afford more, good. If you can live with that, perfect. And I'm not at all pushing you, and I never would push you into leaving that hamster wheel if you're comfortable in it. But if if you're thinking about, God damn it, it's getting on my nerves that I have to get up at 6 a.m. every day to get ready for work, to then go out into the shitty weather, into the car that is more compromised than anything else, to visit my idiotic colleagues and get distracted by their bullshit all day, then perhaps it is time for you to attempt to jump over the fence and taste the grass on the other side. Now, how do you do that, right? There's a trade-off you can make, right? Usually, if you're, 9 to 5, you've got your, 8 hours of work. You've got 6 hours of sleep, maybe 8. And then you've got another 8 hours left, which you usually take up with hobbies and everything, and watching TV and kind of dulling down your brain. That time, if you use that to actually start a side hustle, that way you can taste the grass on the other side first. It's kind of like sneaking out the gate, tasting the grass on the other side without closing the gate, right? It's not like burning the bridges. It's like you get to sneak out. The gate is open. You get to sneak out, eat some grass. If it tastes better, carry on feeding there. Carry on with your hustle until you make it to a degree where you can actually tell your boss or whatever to go fuck off. But you're keeping your options open. If it doesn't taste good for you, if you think you're better off, or if you are, if you feel that you're better off binging Netflix on the weekends and whatever, good for you, right? The hour has 168 weeks. If it's your thing, playing computer games and watching TV and binging Netflix and getting hammer shit faced with your friends or whatever, good, do it. That's your liberty. What I'm just saying is the obvious. Salary is the drug to forget your dreams. So in that sense, we got tomorrow's episode. Thought the week was already over. It isn't. We got tomorrow. I get so fucked up with these holidays, with these public holidays, which they're dumping on us now, we got tomorrow coming up. So in that sense, have a nice rest of your Tuesday. and Thursday. Sorry. Have a nice rest of your Thursday. And if you've already had that, have a good night and stay peaceful, healthy, and everything. And we'll be back in touch tomorrow. Bye, folks.